People often ask me if I don't get lonely or scared or bored when I travel alone, and honestly, I love traveling solo. It's one of my favorite things to do. I call it a workation. I work remotely. I can do that whenever, from wherever, and I want to share some tips if you are interested in traveling solo, working remotely, and you're not sure how to do it, where to start, or if you're scared, then this is for you. I'm traveling to Barcelona and then Malaga in a few days, so I thought I'd let you know how I prepared for that as a yoga and fitness coach who is going to teach a few classes there, then host a retreat, but also just works remotely. First, you want to know where you want to go to and when you're going to go. You kind of need to know if you're flexible or if it doesn't really matter. So that in that case, if you're flexible, you can make it depend on the price of the flights that you can find, the hotel rooms or the Airbnbs that you find, and you can kind of be flexible as you build your travels, right? So for me, I'm flexible. It doesn't really matter when and where I travel, depending on if I am hosting retreats or workshops, or if I'm just really working remotely on my online stuff. So for Barcelona in this case, I was pretty flexible. I am teaching a retreat at the end of the month, so I have to be in Malaga for that, but I knew those dates were set, and the 2-3 weeks before that, was flexible. So I started with looking at flights, then I started looking at Airbnbs and hotels, and yeah, that's how I did it. For flights, I prefer to go on just Google Flights. You put in where you're going, from which airport to which airport. And then what I really like is that you get a calendar with prices on every date. So you know if it's cheaper to fly out on Sunday or Monday, Tuesday, all that kind of stuff. And then you have a list of the different agencies that you can fly with, or the different fly companies that you fly with, if that's the word. And you can also put filters like I don't want a layover, or I'm fine with layovers. So that's all really interesting. And then for this trip, I started looking on Airbnb, but to be honest, I was a little last minute. That's what I'm like. I am always like, last minute deals are the best. But on Airbnb, it was all very pricey, and what you did get for the price wasn't really that nice. So I ended up finding a hotel that specifically focuses on remote workers. It's called the Social Hub. I've never been there before. They have it in different cities, so I thought I would try it out, because if you stay there for an extended stay, the prices get cheaper and cheaper and are very doable. They also come with a co-working space, a gym, a pool, a bike, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really interested and intrigued to see what it's gonna be like. It's non-sponsored, by the way. Feel free to sponsor me. But yeah, I'm really excited to stay there. I'm staying there for 11 days, and then I decided to leave the last 5 days open to see when I'm in Barcelona if I want to stay there for the last 5 days and either extend my stay at the Social Hub or find another hotel or Airbnb. Or what I was thinking about was traveling to a close by beach town, so I am more in like a relaxed beach vacation vibe, to where I can really film workouts and yoga flows on the beach, and also just have some downtime before I head over to Malaga to teach my retreats, to host my retreats, because they're pretty intense. It's always a group of 12, 13 people, and I have to be on 24/7. So yeah, I'm gonna see what I feel like when I'm there. So what I also really like doing before I travel somewhere is see if I know anyone in that city or in that area. And even maybe if I don't know anyone personally, if I know them from Instagram, or if I follow someone on Instagram, I'll reach out and just be like, hey, do you have any tips? Or if you want to grab a coffee when I'm there, let's do it. So I already have 3 people that I'm going to meet up with in Barcelona, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with them in real life. And then you know that if something happens, or if you're not sure about something, that you have someone to reach out to who knows the area, which I think is pretty important. Even if you're going somewhere where you really don't know anyone, if you find someone on Instagram that seems, or on TikTok, that seems like a nice human being and a real person and kind of into the same things as you, don't be shy, reach out to them. That's how you meet people, and you can never go wrong with just grabbing a coffee together. Even if it doesn't click, you still have that person you can fall back on, and in case of an emergency, you can always ask like, hey, where do you go to the doctor here? Or what's your favorite restaurant? That's not an emergency, but you know what I mean. So I think that's really important. And honestly, I don't really prepare that much more. I just make sure I have my flights, somewhere to stay for the first few days at least. And after that, I'm pretty flexible, that I maybe reach out to someone. And then for me, I already also now have a place that I'm booked to teach at, because I just love combining that. And that's it. Make sure in your phone, that's another good tip. In your phone, make sure either a parent or one of your good friends back home has that track your phone on. In case you don't, in case something happens and they don't hear from you, that they can track you on your phone. And make sure that you have a travel insurance. I think that's pretty important. Check your current insurance, see if it's up to date. That's a note to self. I still have to do that. And besides that, I would say my biggest advice is to just do it. A lot of people are afraid to travel alone. They think they'll get lonely, but I think traveling alone is when you really get to learn so much about yourself. And honestly, it's a lot of fun because you don't have to take into consideration anyone else. So you can do what you want to do. Do you want to go to a museum that day? You do it. Do you want to go and explore the city and walk around, or go and take a workout class, or just lay on the beach? You can absolutely choose what you want to do. And if you want to hang out with people, you always can make friends. Honestly, online, on Instagram, by reaching out to people that you think have the same interests, or going to a gym. For me, the gym, like a studio, whether it's indoor cycling or yoga, is the best place to meet people. And don't be shy. Just ask them if they want to grab a coffee after class. And if you're single, why not download an app and just go on Bumble or Tinder and go on a date? Honestly, be smart about it. Don't go home with anyone. Make sure you meet up in a public place so you kind of get to know what kind of person it is. But you can have fun. You can explore. This is your chance to be wild, to do things that you normally wouldn't do, and just live your best life. You might not have this chance again in your life. I always tell people, maybe this is your only chance. A lot of people want to go for a longer trip right after university and before they start working, and they're like, oh, should I do it? And I'm like, yes, jump, do it. But on the other hand, you can literally travel whenever because it's your life. Like for me, I'm 33, I'm a freelancer, or I work for myself, so I can do that. But that's because I set up my life in that way, so I can do that. And you can do that too. And if you're watching this video, that means you're interested to travel alone, to maybe work remote and do your thing, and it's all possible. You just have to get started. You just have to set it up and make sure there's some money coming in while you travel, or you save up for it, of course, and you just relax. All is possible. So that was a really short little video with traveling tips and how to prepare if you're traveling solo and working remotely. Definitely come back later for more videos on my trips to Barcelona and Malaga. And this year I'll be traveling a lot as a traveling fitness and yoga coach. I'll be going to China, to Australia, to Bali. So definitely subscribe if you want to stay up to date. And in the comments, let me know where you want to travel to next. Honestly, traveling alone is one of the funnest things to do because you get to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, and where you want to do it. So if you have the choice or the opportunity to travel and to do that and do it alone and work remotely, then I would say go for it. You get to know yourself so much better. You get to know people all over the world, and you get to explore beautiful cities.